film a podcast? Obviously, there are numerous ways that you can achieve this task. But if you're looking for a platform that is a little bit more sophisticated than just recording on Zoom, we'll take a closer look at a program that may make filming your podcast a little bit easier. I've been co-hosting a podcast myself, and I've been using Restream to record them. I'll show you what I love about it and give you a sneak peek of what it's capable of. Before we get started, my name is Michelle, and I've been in the marketing game for close to 20 years now, and I love to share what I've learned in the tools that I use with other entrepreneurs. So if this info resonates with you, or if you find it helpful, please give the video a like and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this one. And if you have any questions, you can leave those in the comments. All right, let's take a closer look at Restream. Live streaming made easy. So we are checking out Restream today. And I told you that I have been co-hosting a podcast and I've been using this to actually record it. And I've been loving it so far. So I wanted to give a closer look at what Restream can do. And that way you can see that maybe if you're thinking about starting a podcast, this might be a tool that you want to use if you're trying to go a little bit fancier than just recording on Zoom. This does have some benefits, and so we will get into those. I'll just log into my account first. A couple things to get started. I am on the standard plan, so you can get started for free. It does have a free tier. I have a link in my description if you want to get started and check it out. I also have, this is good to keep in mind, a $10 credit for you in the description as well if you do want to upgrade and try this out for yourself. So make sure you take advantage of that discount if you are seriously thinking about checking out Restreams. So when you log in, the first thing that you'll see over here on this left-hand side is what do you want to do? So you have the ability to schedule an event, which is great. So if you want to pre-schedule some YouTube live streams, once you've connected your different social media channels like Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, you can actually schedule these events and then it will use that connection. And especially for YouTube, you can have that event show up on your channel so that people will be notified that you do have an upcoming live stream available, and then they can get reminders for that. It also creates that link so that if you want to share that link out to different places to promote your live stream, then you can do that as well. And so once you schedule that, if you need to go back and make any updates to like the description, you can do that from either location, whether that be in Restream or actually on the back end of your channel. So good things to keep in mind. You can also upload videos and stream them live. And then you have the third option of recording audio and video. So if you're just wanting to pre-record something like a podcast, you can do that. And so that's actually the option that I have been using. So I'll give you a sneak peek of what that actually looks like when we go in. I'll kind of walk you through what we're looking at over here. So over on the left-hand side, we've got a bunch of scenes that we can set up. So whether or not you are going to, have your video and then add media, so you could do that. I'll just click on that here. You can add a media source. And so if you want that to be slides, if you want that to be another video that you're kind of talking over, or if you want to share your screen, if you're navigating something, on a website, you can do that here. This is also a great way to pre-record presentations. So if you do have a slideshow presentation that you are wanting to pre-record, you could do it this way. And then they've got also just a ton of other setups too. You've got additional layout options on the bottom here so that if I wanted to be kind of like an inset on my slides, I could go full screen with the slides and then you can see me down here in the bottom right. Primarily when I'm doing the podcast, I've been using this main chat one and then just fills the screen so that there is two people. And I've been using this option down here where it's just covering it. So it does go full screen. And when you have another person that is inside of this recording stream, you can see that it's split screen. But you do have different layout options if you want to. So if you want to shrink yourself down and give yourself the ability to show a background, you can do that here. This one has a little bit of a border. So you have the ability to really customize this the way that you want it to look. On the right-hand side over here, we haven't really dug into that yet. We have different options. So if I need to invite guests up top, I can see who's actually what they call backstage. Good thing to keep in mind. Anybody who has been invited and is currently backstage, even if you're not recording, they can hear you, they can see everything. It's just that you won't be able to hear them unless you turn them on. And so this little toggle switch over here, you can turn off and on. Anybody who's in the backstage area, you can invite up to 10 guests. All you have to do is click this button. It will generate a link, and then you can send that link out to whoever needs to join. They don't have to have a Restream account at all. All they have to do is just click the link. So it's very easy to get people outside of your organization that may not be a host, the ability to jump into this platform. So definitely a bonus there. If you want to give this, the look and feel a little bit of an upgrade, you can definitely do that. I'll shrink that down a little bit so that you can see this design panel here. And I've got a ton of options. So I can change the primary color. So if you've got branding in your podcast and you want to highlight that color, I also have the ability to change things. So if I want my name to look a little bit different, if I like the rounded effect, if I want just the kind of default, I have the ability to kind of switch that up. You can see that Restream logo in the corner. You can add your own logo if you have one. If you want to not have any logo at all, that's definitely possible. You can turn that Restream logo off. I will say that is the standard plan feature. You do have to be upgraded in order to get rid of that branding. If you're on the free tier, it's going to have that Restream branding. So depending on how important that is to you, whether or not you care about that branding, just know that that is what is kind of like a main feature on the free tier. They've got additional like overlay options, so you can add, little graphics if you have them. These look like they're, I don't know if that's spaceship and stars, something. If you want to jazz that up a little bit, you can definitely do that. Clicking it again will hide those things. And then you can go nuts with this stuff. They've got video clips that you can go into. A lot of these are like the countdowns to the stream. So if you want to get super fancy with like how your stream is going to begin, you can add those countdowns. If you want to, jazz the background up a little bit, let me hide that. You can go pretty crazy. I'd say this is a little distracting if you're trying to film a podcast with all these moving colors. You might want to do something a little bit simpler. You can change that up just by clicking it, and then you always have the ability to upload your own graphics and backgrounds if you want to. You've got some captions options that you can do as well. So if you want to add a ticker, you can do that. If you've got some important information that you need to announce, you can go nuts with that. Any kind of lower third option that you want to add, you can do that as well. All you have to do is click on this little pencil to edit it. I can type in hello everyone, and you can see that there. In order to hide something, all you have to do is click it again to hide it. Again, this works so if you are live streaming and you've got a whole chat thread, if you're going to live stream to multiple sources, you will be able to see all of those sources in one chat thread on your end. So if you want to highlight somebody's comment, all you'd have to do is literally just click on it and it'll bring it up to the screen. So I'm going to hide that ticker as well. So that, if you've seen that before and you're like, not sure how people are doing that, it's just literally a function in the back end. You've got QR code options as well. So if you are, wanting somebody to donate, you can always use that. You can obviously change that URL to go wherever you want it to go to. But these are just additional things that you can do to add that extra element to your podcast or live stream. And of course, you've got music options too if you want to add that for any reason. So I'm going to get out of that. And then before we leave the screen, I'll just say that it does have a private chat so that if you are wanting to communicate to somebody that's either hosting with you or is a guest, you can use this little private chat to communicate with the other guests. Therefore, if you're live streaming and you need to say something without saying it aloud, you can communicate that way. So once you've finished recording what you want to record, if I go back out, I can go to the video storage and see all of the files that I have saved. And that will be in this tab right here. Now, I don't have any videos that I've uploaded, but I do have recordings. And so these are a couple of the old recordings that we have. And they do expire, so my tier will save up to 5 recordings, and then it will delete them after a set amount of days, which is fine. So just have to make sure that you are downloading your recordings in a timely manner. Speaking of downloading though, what's really nice is that when I come here to download, one of the things that I think is probably the biggest benefit, I get really excited about it. Not only can you download the full video, you can download the audio track, but you can have split audio tracks. And so this would become really useful. So if you're like pre-recording a podcast and let's say that there was an instance where you started talking over one another and you didn't mean to, but it kind of just happened that way. The split audio tracks will actually let you have those independent audio tracks so that when you're editing and you need to cut maybe somebody else's out and hear the other person's word, you can do that. And I think that that's a really nice option to have, because if you're doing something with like Zoom, you know that it's just all in one pot. So like you get the one video, all of the audio tracks are kind of meshed together. You don't have that ability to split the tracks. Now they do have a beta feature that they're splitting the video tracks. The only caveat to that is they are MKV files. So if you are having the ability to utilize those MKV files, then you might be interested in checking that out. So I will close this. To wrap up, if you're curious as to what the pricing is, it does have that free plan that you can get started with. I am on the standard plan. That is just really, you get a little bit lower quality video, 720p, which I think is still usable and has been working great for me. You can multi-stream to 3 channels at once, and then the watermark branding is removed. And then if you find yourself needing just a little bit more, you could go up to the professional plan. You can do 5 channels of live streaming at once. You do get the 1080p and full HD resolution. You can have up to 10-hour recordings if that is something that you need. And of course, they have additional options if you need more than that. But let me know what you think. Have you used Restream? Do you like it? Do you think there are better platforms to record podcasts out there? I'd love to hear about it. If you have any questions, you can always leave those in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.